We are recording. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in again to my Mercury Lounge live stream. Not a live stream, this is pre recorded, but you won't know the difference. Mercury Lounge daily stream. Thank you, Mercury Lounge, for having me do this. Thank you, Bobby Dean, for helping set this up. And like I've been saying with these other episodes, when I was thinking of which guests to have come, I was thinking of people that are interesting to me, but that I don't get to talk to that often. And so it's an excuse to hang and talk with people. And so today's guest, I'm sure everybody has at least heard her name and you've probably heard her music. And she's a cool, interesting person with a lot of stuff I think we can talk about. So please welcome Allie Harter. Hey, Allie.
Hi, how are you?
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I am too. I'm going to switch to gallery view real quick because it shows us at the same time. There we go.
I did it too. Cool.
Yeah, we're both here. I feel like what's funny is I've known you a long time, but we somehow just never talked or hung out. I don't even know if we played a show together.
I know. I've thought about that before.
But we
And
have 2 million mutual friends, and I was just like, it's time. It's time to hang out with Allie.
that's so cool. I'm glad you reached out. Yeah, that is really strange. There's actually a number of musicians around town that I kind of have that same thing with, I feel like. And then sometimes it results in people be like, they'll always tell me like, I thought you were just mean. And I'm like, no,
It seems like people that have a little bit of like confidence or that aren't necessarily trying to just get out and make a ton of friends because they don't feel like they have to, that comes off as mean or something sometimes.
yeah.
I like a pattern I've seen, but like I've done it myself, and then I've seen other people complain about the same thing. Um, um, how are you today?
I'm good. I was saying earlier, I'm a little bit tired. Played my first show back after the whole, pandemic last night, and I didn't realize how much I missed it and how much I missed my friends. And we hung out very late. And then I got back and I didn't realize we had a storm and the house was like totally trashed. So I had to like pick that up. I'm very tired today, but I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, well,
How are
if you need to take a break and make coffee or something, that's fine.
Oh, I came packing.
Oh yeah, okay, good. Where did you play?
We played at the deli in Norman with a couple of my friends. I played with Kirsten White and Carter Sampson. I realized that I'm wearing her shirt today and I look like a total fangirl right now.
Well, Carter's cool. That's cool to be a Carter fan.
Yeah, well, I designed the shirt too, but she's, one of my BFFs, so I'm extra nerdy right now. But we played at the deli in Norman, and what's funny about it was actually the last show that I played before this all started was at that same place. Hi,
This is
how
my
are you?
son Augustus, by the way.
I have to go get my girls.
Oh yeah, how old are your girls?
Well, I've got 8 and 4.
How old are you?
9.
Damn.
Nice.
Do you have a question for me right now? Can you
Yeah.
find my keys? Is that the problem?
Your car's locked.
Well, you use my keys to unlock the car.
You said they were in the car.
No, my keys are not in the car. I think they're on the table.
Dad.
Come back if you need some. Um,
Love it.
yeah, I hope your girls make a Zoom bomb here in a minute too. Yeah, so the deli seems like they just opened back up and they're maybe doing like only a handful of people, or are they full capacity, or what's the deal?
Oh no, they've got like full plastic, like around the bar. The stage is roped off, like you can't get anywhere near. Like, well, I mean, it's like 4 feet maybe. It's literally roped off, and then like the bartenders have like face masks and stuff. It's the plastic ones. It's like really crazy. And then they're doing half capacity with everything, spaced out, and there's no standing room. Like if you're in there, like everybody's at a table spaced out and stuff. It's really cool. It was cool.
Cool. Okay, one more second. What is it? You can't find my keys? Well, keep looking. They're on the counter, but let me talk to my friend. Just look real hard. Look real hard. Woo! As soon as I hit record, it's like question time.
That's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah. So you have a new record that you I know it's been like a long time in the making, and it's got a release date here shortly, right? A couple
Yeah.
weeks.
Yeah, June 20th.
And it's your first record in a while, is that right?
Yeah, I think well, we started it 7 years ago, and then the other one came out way before that. I don't even remember. 12 or 11 maybe, 2012 or 11.
So like you're getting back into shows, and then after a break, and then you're like releasing a record after a bigger break.
Yeah,
Does it
totally.
feel? How does it feel after having been a mom and were I don't know, just like huge life change, and then introducing this older element of your life back in into the fold again?
Um, I'm doing it differently this time. It does a lot of things feel the same, a lot of things feel different, but the way that I'm approaching going back into playing music, and to tell you if we're going to be completely honest, to be more responsible with it and not use it as an excuse to fly off the handle or whatever. Involve my kids as much as I can, like family friendly stuff, or
Yeah.
only be gone for a short period of time. I just keeping myself and my family and the fans and friends and the other musicians safe, um, is a new, very responsible way that I'm trying to approach this thing. And I'm finding that as I do it that way, I remember what I loved about playing music in the friggin' first place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you don't always, feel like you're doing something wrong. You're not in danger. It's different. You don't have to worry about bullshit whenever you do the next right thing. So it feels really good. Um, I think what I had started kind of getting back into it right before like the virus hit. And that was crazy after taking all these years off and just, working other jobs and it not being my primary focus, to all of the sudden be like, I want to play again. And then, the universe is like, no, no. Was very like, I mean, there's a lot to process there. So I kind of had like, I was like, what the hell is going on? I don't know what I'm doing. But
Yeah. A
last night
few
felt
a few other people I've talked to this week also have like books or albums or uh, paintings or whatever coming out, or they're trying to release in the middle of all this.
yeah.
They've had similar like, I guess, am I not supposed to release this now, or what's the deal? But it seems like a lot of people have found creative ways around it, or if at the very least it's helped them like frame how they think about it and take stock of what they're really doing, I guess.
Well, you have an album that just came out. How do you feel about it? Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I think mine is a little bit of an asterisk because I released the record, our band record, last fall, which was recorded with the full band, and then this one was an acoustic. Like I re-recorded the songs again, but just acoustic, and so it always kind of felt lower stakes, Like I wasn't too bummed that like we had an event, a release show that got canceled, and that was a bummer, but I still felt like I was able to give the songs their proper due, starting last fall. So I can't complain too much. But yeah, there is, man, especially this week with all the just the protests and things happening. It feels funny to be talking about your record, but you know, I
Yeah.
try to find the tasteful way to put it out there and then back off, and then but
I know. I really, really hope that with the Black Lives Matter movement and all the protests and stuff, that it doesn't lose momentum and people don't be like, oh, I can't handle this anymore. The people that it doesn't affect. I'm hoping that that does not happen. I hope everybody stays fired up. But I do kind of feel like there's going to be a little bit of people needing a break. I mean, I'm not saying that like I want them to shift their focus and focus on our music or whatever, but everybody needs just a break for a second. So I think a lot of this music and art and stuff is probably, I found it's welcomed. People, this is a very fine line that I'm walking here. But you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If anybody listened to my record for too long, I'd tell them to turn the news back on. So
Yeah, I think there's a I don't know. There's a way to incorporate it into your daily routine of pay attention to what you need to be doing, take a little mental health break, if something fires you up or inspires you, dive into that for a while and then get back to what you're doing. I don't know. I'm
Well,
riffing.
I mean, there are ways to incorporate it. Like I went to post something in my on my business, like in social media the other day on my Pigs Fly Shop thing, and it felt, and I said it in the post, it's like it feels inappropriate. It feels really inappropriate, and so the only way that I could make myself feel okay with posting pictures of like leather whatever earrings or whatever was to do something about that. And I've decided like all this week, a portion of all of my sales in Pigs Fly Shop go directly to the Oklahoma City Black Lives Matter
Sure.
organization, period. I don't know. So that, I mean, there's ways to get back to, I mean, to continue, you know, you got to continue your life, but incorporate that because I mean, it's important. So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think being thoughtful about things is super important, and just always paying attention and I don't know, trying to learn what we can do. I want to talk about your shop here in a little bit because every time you post a photo of a leather deal, I'm like, oh, I should get a new wallet or I should get a new guitar strap or something.
heck
But
yeah, I love doing guitar straps actually.
but first, I kind of want to back up and um, I kind of want to just talk about how you got started in the first place, like where you grew up, and because my kind of impression of your first couple records, and forgive me for trying to sum it all up, but I've gathered over the years that your music has kind of gravitated more towards like a maybe just like a bluesy or more of a like folk slash blues or rock and roll sound. And maybe when it started, it was a little bit more of like for indie rock, for lack of a better word. But I
I've
would,
never known what to call it, so I'm enjoying this. You're not going to say anything wrong. So.
I mean, honestly, we're all probably just folk rockers at the end of the day, but there's little nuances there. But I'm curious, like what got you going in the first place, and I know you did a lot of touring, like in Europe and across the country. So I would just love to kind of just get a little brief of how you got going.
Yeah, totally. It's a long story, but
Well, you can edit out the parts that are not fun or whatever.
okay. Well, well, okay. So let's see. My older sister played guitar. I think she kind of picked it up from a dude that she was dating at the time, who was a really fantastic guitar player. Um, and so, and you know, looking up to her, I kind of wanted to play something too. For some reason, though, the first instrument that I asked my parents for was a violin and fiddle. My dad wanted me to learn how to play The Devil Goes Down to Georgia, but so my parents got me a fiddle, and I took lessons at UCO like for a while. I mean, this is when I was like 12 maybe. But I kind of quickly realized that wasn't my instrument. That wasn't my thing. And I had started playing it, you know, down like a guitar and strumming it and stuff. So I asked my parents if I could switch, and they switched me pretty much immediately. And I will never forget it. My dad went and bought me just out of nowhere, like a pawn shop, this white Fender Gemini guitar. And I still have it, actually. I always took it as like a sign because I'm a Gemini, whatever. But, and I wrote my first song like that day. And I remember, I know the name of the song. I'm not going to tell you, and I don't remember how it goes. That's really stupid. But
Your first song wasn't amazing?
no, it was horrible. I do still have like the music for some of my like fourth and fifth songs, and like some of them aren't that bad.
Were you listening to someone, you're like, I want to write like this person?
Well, I mean, I had an acoustic guitar, so obviously it's just going to sound like singer-songwriter stuff. But I mean, of course, my all-time favorite musician, you know, is Bonnie Raitt, and thanks to my mom. And I've always, you know, I listened to my parents' music and older music, and I loved the Beatles, like had like all the anthologies and was a real geek about it. And, but I like in my formative years, like when we're all sitting and watching MTV, like I zoomed in on Supergrass and Foo Fighters and stuff like that, which are still two of my favorite like bands to this day. I caught them here when they were on tour together, and it was like, whoa. But so I mean, and I listened to a lot of punk music, and I hung out with, when I got a little bit older, I hung out with like a lot of the old punk bands from around here, which is how I learned to
So,
tour and play in.
yeah.
But
So you were Oklahoma City area, like.
yeah, well, I was born out. I was born in Oklahoma City and grew up out in like the Deer Creek, Edmond area, close to Piedmont, so far out there.
Cool. Um, when did you start like playing shows and stuff?
Uh, Probably what year did I graduate? '02. I think there was a coffee shop in Oklahoma City that my sister used to go hang out at called Sandman's. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
No.
Well,
They
I'm from Broken Arrow, so I didn't know about that stuff.
Okay. I think a lot of people would from the city, our age would probably remember it. It's like total hipster, hangout, like jazz poetry, like cool kids. And my sister would drive me up there to play like their open mic, and everybody, immediately was like, "Oh my God, you're so awesome." Was very positive and supportive. And I think I must have been, what I graduate when I was 17, probably 18, maybe, I think was my first show. Real show, maybe, kind of, because somebody tipped me, so it counts. I played an open mic at Sandman's. My sister had taken me to, so
Nice. Um, and was it just like right away, this is what I want to do?
I I think I had always known that that was what I wanted to do. I mean, in fact, like, when you go to your, high school counselor and they ask you what you want to do and you start talking about college. I remember my mom was with me and the lady was like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm not going to college. I want to be a musician." And she goes, "Okay, but really?" And I was like, "Dude, lady, I want to be a musician." And I looked at my mom, and my parents have always said either you go to college or you do this full time. You put everything into it. And she looked at the lady too and was like, so um, I pretty much always knew that, that was what I wanted to do.
That's that kind of support. I can't. I wasn't discouraged, but I wasn't. It was just kind of the classic. That's nice. That's nice you're doing that, but what are you really doing? So that seems like a really nice base of support to fuel you to get going.
Yeah, they've always been that way. There's definitely aspects of it that, all musicians go through, not all musicians, if you're lucky, but a lot of musicians, go through, are drunks and, drug addicts and stuff like that. And I used to drink like a friggin' fish or whatever. And there's parts of it that, my family doesn't support and, freak them out. And that is the only point that anybody has ever, been like, "I don't want you to do this anymore." For the most part, everybody's just been amazing. So it's
It,
really cool.
it seems like it takes a little bit, and I think you were kind of getting to this earlier, but it takes a minute to understand that making records and performing them and that whole business really is super removed from partying and hanging out. Now, they seem very intertwined for a long time, and they might even be when you're younger and you have to at least look like you party to seem
Be
cool, and then
cool. Yeah.
get certain, be accepted. Like there might be a degree of that having to happen, or at least faking it when you start, but it really, once you get further down the line, you have to separate those two, or else the business part just doesn't happen at all.
And I'll be the first to admit, I think everything that has happened to me in my career and every single opportunity that I've had was due to working and being in the right place at the right time and never saying no to an opportunity, never saying no to a gig, which I have the luxury of doing now.
Yeah.
But I, worked my ass off. But I also was very damn lucky, very, very lucky. And I'll
So
be the first one to admit that. And the only opportunities that I have ever lost were due to not acting like a professional. And that'll kill it, man.
So yeah, tell me how you got from playing coffee shops to I know there's a lot in between, but touring in Europe.
Well, the Europe thing, I kind of, playing shows and stuff. I just did it like, everybody does it. You work your way up and you play bigger and bigger stuff, and somebody will see you play and they'll ask you to come play with them, and, that kind of thing. Um, like, I was touring and working my ass off, but like there's this one time that I was playing at a bar in Lincoln, Nebraska. I mean, I busted my butt putting that tour together and, driving around in a van by myself and, working and promoting it myself. But I was in the right place at the right time. It just so happened like the next night, there was a huge concert happening, but they were there the day before to set up because that big of a show. And the whole crew and the artist happened to be at the bar that I was playing at. Came up to me. I didn't know who he was at the time, but he came up to me and was like, "You are really good. I want to see if you want to come over and play there was this place called the Pershing Center for me tomorrow night, play a couple songs." And I was like, "Oh no, man, I gotta be in Iowa tomorrow, blah, blah, blah." I wasn't from there. I didn't know how big the building was. I didn't know who this dude was. And all these people that were standing around me buying CDs were looking at me like I was a moron. Anyway, so the guy, he's like, "All right, well, if you change your mind, we'll be at the bar." He kind of looked at me real funny. And later, when he walked off, everybody was like, "Do you not know who that is?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Seriously?" And I was like, "No, who is it?" They were like, "That's Dierks Bentley. He's playing for 10,000 people tomorrow, and you need to cancel your gig."
Oh,
like
wow.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, you get something weird like that'll happen, and it just kind of, if you play your cards right, it goes up and up and up.
Were you able to go play with him the
I
next
did.
time?
Yeah, there was, I don't know if they're still up, but there was YouTube videos up there for a while. It was the first, how him and Miranda Lambert do that tour together? Is it Locked and Loaded or something? Or it has like Pistols? You know that tour that they do all the time?
I mean, I know who both of them are. I don't know if I could tell you about the tours they do.
Yeah. That's fair.
I mean, I know a decent amount about each one. I know. So what year was that for him? I mean, was he like who he is now at that point? I mean, I guess it sounded like there was a decent show.
It was the first, I think they said it was like right after Miranda Lambert like won that Nashville Star thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was starting out, and it was the first time that they'd done that tour together. And it was a huge show. I don't
Cool.
know, so I'll have to look and see if those
Did
videos.
you play like solo acoustic? Like, were you just like doing your tunes in front of 10,000 people?
Yeah. I literally like, they gave me like my own dressing room and stuff like that. It was really cool. He paid me. I mean, he paid me. It was crazy. But like it was like just this big time production thing, the biggest that I'd seen, at that point.
Yeah.
And walk out on stage, and Dierks Bentley walks out with me, and everybody goes crazy. And he's standing there with me, and he's like, tells the story, and introduces me to all these people. And he was like, "These are my fans, like, she's my friend too. So, you guys listen." And it was crazy. And I did it. And, from that, there was definitely, opportunities that happened.
Whoa.
And, people kind of took notice, and it just turned into other opportunities after that. So.
That's nice that that worked because I've never opened for somebody that big, but I've opened for other, like bigger people, and there's always that kind of element of, oh, that's nice, but we're here for the headliner. But it's nice when the headliner kind of comes out and vouches for you, and
Yeah.
kind of throws a little bit of the spotlight your way. Did you
Yeah.
guys did you guys get to talk at all, or?
Yeah. Well, since he invited me the night before and I found out who like he was and stuff, they put me up in a hotel there, like a really nice hotel. And I called my parents, and they drove straight there from
Oh,
Oklahoma.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And so they got to go to the show and see it happen. And afterwards, we watched the show together, their whole show. And afterwards we went and like on the bus and talked, and it was nuts. It was unbelievable. I mean, that's one of the cool things, that,
Yeah. And then the next night you're on your the next day of your tour and
well, I had to call like the bar in Iowa, which I think was like the Brick or something. I don't even remember. But be like, sorry, no, it was the Mars Cafe. And I played there a bunch of times, like going through the Midwest. And I was like, I gotta play with a Dierks Bentley tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to cancel. And they were not happy about it. But I mean, I think they understood. But I
yeah.
never played there again.
Oh, I mean, what are you gonna do? Um, yeah. So, was your sound like? Was your sound? I guess it was country enough to hop on that bill at that point.
I think when anybody's like, singing words and strumming a guitar, you could put it in that box. You could easily put, anybody in that box. I was a girl with a guitar. I stood there and played songs with the guitar, and I was from Oklahoma and maybe had a little bit of an accent. So yeah, it was passable. I mean, I
Totally.
was definitely playing stuff off of Worry the Bones, or Worry the Bone, which is a little bit more, I don't know, alternative-y sounding.
Yeah.
But with an
Well,
acoustic, I mean, you could be anything.
I got a kid question break. Hold on.
Yeah.
What is it, bud?
Since I did chores, can I do some game time?
Do some more reading.
I
Okay,
don't
and then we'll do that. Thank you.
I
Um,
don't
You're such a good dad. My kids are in there glued to their tablets.
well, he's been on the device for a while this morning.
want. Oh.
Okay, you can do some until I'm done with this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. Um, the things you have to do to do the things you have to do. Um, tell me about that. Tell me about that record, "Worry the Bone." You recorded that. Where'd you record that?
In Norman, actually, with Chris Harris, and then it was mixed and mastered at Bell Labs. So.
Cool. Was that your first record?
Mhm. I had like a little, demo thing that I had recorded in Oklahoma City in like a professional studio. Some dude, like my dad found, and he had like a studio set up in his house, but it was just like a room with a nice looking microphone or whatever. And I
Yeah.
had this little demo that I used to sell, that I would burn them actually myself and like print out the artwork for them and stuff. Uh, and a lot of people actually, like, to this day, like, they'll still have that or have those songs on their computer, and why don't you play those songs anymore? I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and and for a long time I had lost them, but I recently found them again on like an old hard drive, and I put out a digital release a little while, I don't know, a few weeks or something ago, a month or two ago, um called Bribing the Dogs, and it's like 18 songs from, like, I think it's 2004 to, I don't know, 2014 or something like that. And it's a lot of those songs and acoustic stuff. And it's only a digital release. You can download it and stream
That's
it all.
cool. Kind of like a little palate cleanser before your record happens.
Yeah, I keep saying that this one is my third and final record. I don't see myself at this point making another one. I'm not writing. I haven't written in probably 4 or 5 years. Um, After nights like last night, though, in the show that we played, I do feel myself loving it again. So I should probably stop saying that. A lot of my friends are like, stop saying that. Never say never, you idiot. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I wanted to if this is going to be my last record, I just kind of wanted those to be out there. And that's where I came from. This is where I'm at now. And
It seems like one of those deals where there's no way it's your last record, but you have to mentally get there to get over the situation. And then in a few years, there's going to be some recording opportunity, and it's going to just fall in your lap. And then,
well, I don't know if it will be my last record. I do know that I'm going to be doing stuff after this, because actually through the whole touring in Europe thing, and mainly France, that's how I met my publisher, and she was my publisher for 10 years, and she actually just signed on to do this record too. So I mean, we'll be doing stuff with it, and with her, I mean, I've done stuff like written music for like L'Oreal campaigns, like in France and stuff like that, and there'll be little stuff I'll do here and
is
there.
that like instrumental music, or are you actually writing tunes?
No, it's totally instrumental stuff. They kind of give you like their little melody, like that's their signifying like their logo, the logo with
Right.
and you have to like write stuff around it. It's really strange. But now do it now do a reggae version, like now do a jazz version. Like, it's really bizarre.
Yeah. Well, I remember very briefly I had someone having me do some of that stuff for them, and I only did it for a little bit, but it was so comical how easy it was to do the like Target commercial ukulele glockenspiel thing, and it just goes forever, and it just works on any laundry. I did one for these frozen veggie patties that you like microwave, and it was like that sound, the ukulele and the glockenspiel and the whistling is just, ugh, I hate it, but it works.
I want to hear what is it? You have to tell me what it's for. I want to hear it. Or
It
like,
was
video YouTube.
So I'll look for it. It was so comically lame. It was like internet only, YouTube only commercial. I think it was paid like $200, and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'll do this in GarageBand so fast. And then, uh-oh, who do we have?
This is Ryland.
Hi, Rylan. Did you take a nap?
What were you doing? You're being goofy. Just being shy.
That's okay, Ryland. If you want to answer later, you can talk to me.
You can just sit here and listen. You want to sit here and listen? Okay, we'll do that.
Does she like does she like music?
She does. Right now, I was like almost posted about this like so many times. I've got a problem, and I don't know if it's hard for me to say it out loud, but I'm afraid that my daughters, both of them, their favorite song might be Old Town Road.
I've had that problem for a few months. And you know what's a bigger problem is do you like Old Town Road, Rylan?
She's got some pretty freaking sweet dance moves that she's like made up herself, and she does them like the same like every time, like they're like working on routines and stuff. Alexa's playing it constantly.
But my problem is I'll be in the car with the kids and we'll do this deal where it's like, okay, your turn to pick a song, your turn to pick a song. And they always want Old Town Road, but there's different remixes. So there's the Lil Nas X original, there's the Billy Ray Cyrus one, there's one with the Korean pop band guys, BTS. I forget
Really?
yeah, there's zillion versions, and they all have a different record cover, like different colored horses, and that's
Oh,
my kids know the version, and they're like, "Dad, play the green horse version,"
weird. That's so funny.
and I can't for the life of me like find it quickly, and it's just anyway, it's a
That's so
nightmare.
funny. I don't
Oh
even know which version we play. They just say Old Town Road, and she just does it.
yeah, um, what a fun song to listen to, huh, Rylan?
Yeah. But otherwise, Ryland can carry a friggin' tune, man. And she's got a couple little guitars that she strums on and stuff, and
Do you
she's got the ear for it.
do you guys sing tunes around the house and play stuff?
Sometimes it's really funny because I mean, me taking a break from music and not playing shows I mean, that happened in my entire life. I took a break from playing music. My guitar was like in the case for a couple years.
Yeah,
And a lot of that happened when she was very, very young. And so
yeah,
I remember when I started wanting to play music again and getting my guitar out, she's like, you can play too? Because her dad is a musician. So he plays. And he would play 24/7. So she knew that. But it
yeah.
was funny whenever I started playing again, she had no clue. She had no idea. What we do now?
I can't imagine. I can't imagine having both of my parents being musicians and just always playing around the house.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Um, I think about that a lot too. I mean, when my wife and I had kids, my wife is not a musician, but it wasn't. It was easy for me to. I mean, I slowed down a little bit, but it was easy to, you know, keep going. And I think about moms that have a kid, and you got to make a hard break. There's just no way to. There's just no way to keep it going, at
Yeah.
least right away.
No, I mean, with both of the girls, I played shows up until I was like 8 and 9 months pregnant for sure. I mean, some with Bonnie, and it was because I wanted to, and I was like in the height of everything then, and even after she was born, like I did European tours, and it was still like my thing. With Ryland, I played up until I was that pregnant out of necessity, out of I had bills to pay.
Yeah,
Then things kind of shifted in my life, and a bunch of stuff happened, and I just kind of stopped playing.
yeah,
But so with doing it both ways with Bonnie at that time, like I mean, we found ways to make it work. I probably took a month off maybe, and then went right back to it. And I don't know, there's ways to make it work, but it's not freaking easy. There's nothing easy about it. So
yeah, yeah. Tell me about because I do want to get to your shop after a little bit, but I want to talk about your new record too. Like, tell me. I know you had a bunch of fun guests on there, and like, did you record it with Wes Sharon? Is that right?
yeah,
Tell me about making the record.
I didn't know Wes before this record. He'd recorded a bunch of people's records who I really, really liked and admired, and I liked the way that they sounded. And I think people were around town were talking about him and stuff. And so I went and met him, and we just like immediately, we just like hit it off. And, you know, a lot of the time spent recording this record was us just talking about stuff and laughing. And it was, you know, some days were not productive at all. It was, I mean, we got along really, really well. And I say that this record is just as much Wes's as it is mine. He poured so much of himself into it. He played bass on it. I put him as co-producer on there because, I mean, definitely a lot of that stuff was his idea. And he's fantastic. So I cannot recommend him enough. It's comfortable and super professional. And then some of the musicians, majority of the musicians that were on there, I mean, I know them all well now, but there's a couple at the time that I was acquaintances with, kind of like me and you, but maybe Wes had the better connection or something like that. And he would literally just call somebody and they'd come in and, you know, just hang out and play. And it was wonderful. It was so fun.
Who are some of the people on the record?
Most of the Tequila Songbirds. Kirsten White and Eliza sang on there. John Calvin, John Moreland, John Fulbright played keys and some other instruments on it. Parker Millsap, Ryan Engelman from the Turnpike Troubadours came and did the guitars on this record are just unfreaking believable. And that is all Ryan. He would sit, I remember he would sit and he'd be like, that's not the part. That's not the part. It had to be like the part. It wasn't just him playing with the song, you know, as a hired gun. He put a lot into it. Did I say John Calvin's on there too. There's a lot of people.
I can't imagine who else you would want to play on your record.
Oh.
Even if you lived in like LA or Nashville. Like
I know, and that's what I'm talking about. I cannot wait for everybody to hear. Hi, hon. Very cute. Hang on one second. She made a little pallet under my desk to take
cool.
Well, when everybody does hear this thing, I mean, I think that one song that I have called "The Great State of Oklahoma" is outdated now, just because of the things that it mentions in it. But for the most part, every other song, I mean, it holds up. It's awesome. And
no, wait, I have heard that one. Did you re-record it for this record?
I had never recorded it before. It's the only record it's been on.
Oh, maybe I've seen YouTubes or something, or saw you do it at a show.
That was a super popular song right after like I wrote it. People were wanting me to record it and so they could buy it and blah blah blah. And that's, I mean, I missed that opportunity just because, you know, this thing sat there for so long. I didn't jump on it, but it's on there now.
Yeah.
I think it says something about the biggest McDonald's in Oklahoma, which I think has been like, or the biggest McDonald's in the world, and I think that's been ripped down. No man.
This is first I want to ask you, John Fulbright is someone that I have always, I think I know personally everybody else that you mentioned, but he's someone I don't really know, and I've always been almost like intimidated to, because when I watch him perform, it's I don't know what the right word is, but it feels electric, like it feels different. You know what I'm saying? When he performs, there's just something different going on there, and I've always just like not wanted to meet him almost because I just like just keeping that mystery.
Yeah.
Makes sense, but tell me about him playing on it, because when I hear him play piano, it's just nuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's actually a lot funnier and goofier than you probably would think. I like that you want to keep the mystery about it. The way that you describe him playing, what you feel whenever you see him play, you could probably say that about every other aspect of his personality. He's just like he's just one of those people that it's like, where the crap did you come from?
Right.
His thought process and the way that he thinks about parts and, you know, playing instruments, and whenever he's listening to something, you can see the wheels turning, and, you know, he's making something amazing. And there's one song that he played on called Brandy and Joe, and it's a song about like basically like huffing gasoline and this like white trash relationship and all sorts of stuff, but it's a really dark sounding, yeah. Yeah, it's a true story. It really happened. I was there. I didn't do it, but I know the people.
But you didn't turn away.
No, she wrote a song about it. But I remember asking, like, I wanted. I remember telling like these people it was a fucking circus, and so literally the piano parts that you hear have a little bit of like Tim Burton circus like going on.
Oh,
It was like all in. I mean, he was like, "Yeah, this is bad," you know. I
yeah, yeah.
mean, he's down for anything and super super fun to be around just in general. But I
Cool.
mean, to be in the studio with him is a blast.
How'd you fit all those? Let me. I hope that this question makes sense. How'd you fit all those people on a record? Because not that they wouldn't be tasteful and know their role, but I could easily see trying. Like, do you have John Calvin play guitar or piano? Do you have John Fulbright play guitar or piano? Parker, what does he do? John Moreland, he's probably singing. I mean, I can just. I'm trying to imagine how you produce this, how you would approach that.
The thing about it is not everybody, not everybody plays on every song.
Sure, sure.
There's even one on there that's just we kept one like just acoustic song with just me. I mean they're not on. They're kind of spaced out, but the decision to have these people on the record, it had nothing to do with who they were. They just, I mean,
Sure.
names or whatever. Those people are the best at what they do, and when I heard those songs, I could hear. I want Ryan Engelman's guitar playing on that. I need John Fulbright's guitar playing on that.
Yeah.
Parker Millsap, he plays a certain way.
Yeah.
Was it that movie? Yes. Okay.
You need a potty break?
Yes. Can I take her to a potty break real quick?
I'll play a song.
Okay, cool.
I'm a pro.
Ready?
Potty break song. Whoop. Let's see. How do I get back to speaker view? Okay. It's wintertime again, I hear it's gonna be a cold one this year. You're back in town for a while, you're back because something brought you here. Don't get me wrong, I think about getting out to see everything you can. Forgive me, I'm still getting used to you moving away about as far as you can. So let's go out tonight and find a strange old bar. I'll put on my brand new boots, you wear that scarf, and I'll hold close a girl from Oklahoma, home that you really are. I haven't played this in forever. Spring is coming soon and I can feel the changes running through my bones. All right, I'm gonna stop. Allie's back.
Yay. You want to get in your fort? You want under there?
Mama, I just need a pillow because I want to go to my elephant.
Okay, go get a pillow then, honey.
I love it. I was thinking last night because I was interviewing another friend. My son was sitting here, and my friend was talking about he's a touring poet, and he was in the 82nd Airborne, and then he got into poetry, and then he started just a crazy life. And I was like, my son is 8, and he's sitting here listening to his dad talk to this crazy dude. Like, what is that doing to an 8-year-old kid?
I know. I don't know. I think they're probably like they live in a time period when all of this stuff like they don't remember it like any other way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, the record sounds really exciting, and sounds like you had the right producer and the right musicians. And well, one other question I have about it is, I assume every song is full, like kind of full band sound. Like it's probably got drums, bass, full band on it. Were you when you were recording it? Were you thinking of how you might perform it live, or were you just like, let's make it sound cool and figure it out later?
Make it sound cool and figure it out later for sure. Because I always play solo. I prefer to play that way, to tell you the truth. I think when I was younger, it was because, I was not experienced in playing with other people and I was kind of scared of it a little bit. Um, but then as I get older, a lot of it has to do with schedules and just, wrangling. I don't want to wrangle cats. I've already got, I already got 2 kids at home. Like I don't have to figure out their schedules. It's really hard. It's really difficult. And
Yep.
a lot of times it's hard to make a band enough, in the beginning stages, enough money to, make it worth everybody's time.
Yep.
And then it just I just prefer to play it that way. I've got a lot of, friends who just play acoustic. And when we all get together, that's our band. Like last night was awesome. And it was all of these solo musicians. It's just, I kind of prefer doing it that way. I definitely have, whenever we are able to do like the CD release show, I've definitely got my A team that I,
Yeah.
would like to use. I thought about doing it now, but I've always thought with my records, I've always wanted those, I wanted the CD, which will be around hopefully, forever, for all time.
Yeah.
I want it to sound like that. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I don't know. When I write them, they sound like that in my head, but
Were those songs fully arranged before you guys recorded, or did you guys sit around and play?
No, all my records have been that way. On this last one specifically, like I said, I wanted those people to play those parts and sing those things because I wanted the way that they play and the way that they sing to be on that record. And I didn't want to take away from that by telling somebody what to play. I pretty much was like, I trust you, go. And it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, I love it. I've always kind of felt the same too. I've never been enough of an instrumentalist to tell someone what to play anyway. I've always just backed off and
I'll hear stuff here and there and be like, well, I kind of want it to do, I want this feeling of something that I don't read music. I don't even know the names of most of this is horrible because I'm a teacher at rock camp, but I use this to teach, but I don't read music. I don't know how. It's ear by everything. So I can't really tell somebody, play this chord here, play your, you know what I mean? Or this note. It's just kind of make it go up and, sound like a fucked up circus. So there's a lot of that going on. Just the
so
feel.
I'm not looking at my phone. I'm not checking social media. I'm looking at our text thread from the other day because you told me about some other things you wanted to talk about. And can you believe it? We've been talking for 45 minutes.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. So we need to, I want to cover some of this stuff. So we could talk about Girls Rock Camp. We could talk about your shop. You were also saying, let's talk about, you're on the board of a nonprofit. Which one of those is most fun to talk about right now?
Well, I enjoy all of them. I think I've kind of picked my passions and the things that I want on my plate, and all of those things. There's some stuff that's kind of come and gone, but all of those I've kept. Well, I do want to say real quick about the nonprofit because I do not think a lot of people know about it. We made.
I knew about Pigs Fly and I knew about Girls Rock Camp, but that was new to me.
Yeah, so we're only in our second year. The beginning of our second year. I think. Where we start every January. I think, yeah, second year. But I wanted to talk about that. It is a nonprofit called the Annie Lillard Legacy Incorporated, named after a friend of ours who passed away. She did a lot of work in the Oklahoma City community with single parents and families, and she worked with the Boys and Girls Club and all sorts of stuff. And when she passed away, we started this organization to continue her work. There were a lot of people and a lot of families and stuff that she left behind. And, she was just so awesome. And so we started this in her name. And what we do is it's a foundation that supports single parents. And we do everything from emergency assistance, like if you can't pay a bill or, take a gas, car problems, groceries. We also, for parents that just need a friggin' break, we get you movie tickets or zoo passes, like anything that any local businesses or person wants to donate to the organization, will turn it around and find a single parent that needs it. And the mission is to spread joy. That was Annie's whole thing, who we named it after, was to spread joy. So that's what we're trying to do. I did want to talk about it right now because we've got a program running to give out. We have 14 left $300 grants to single parents in Oklahoma for COVID relief. And the only thing, all you need to qualify is to be a single parent, be from Oklahoma, and have a need. You can get on our website and actually apply for it, and we'll, unless something's just, kind of wonky,
Yeah.
and we have the money, then, it's pretty much guaranteed
How do
if we have the money.
how do people find the nonprofit?
Yeah, it's www.annielillardlegacy.org. I've got links to it on most of my stuff. We are on all the social medias, and then I do all of our graphic design and our website stuff. I put up a banner right on this front page. It's like the first thing you'll see when you kind of scroll down. You click on that to fill out the application. It's super easy, and one of us will get back to you probably within 24 hours.
Cool. Well, let's talk about the shop next. Like I was saying earlier, all this stuff looks so, I don't know what the word is, artesian. Like it's just like it's tons of detail, and it looks super, just like intricate and really well done. Like, did you grow up doing that? How'd you learn to do this?
My leather stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Well, I grew up racing motorcycles, and we raced flat track, and we had those like full body like leather suits. And I still have the top of mine. I cut it off, and I was going to make a jacket out of it when I was younger, and I never did it, so I don't have the bottom of it anymore. But now I know how to do it. But anyways, we all had those custom made for us. And I remember the woman, her name was Becky. I don't know where she is now, but she was like kind of the woman that made them for, like, we were part of the VDTRA, which is the Vintage Dirt Track Writers Association. And that's anybody that was in that. She was kind of like the go-to person for leathers at the time. And I remember seeing her fit us and sew them. I always thought it was so cool. And then growing up playing music, just like leather guitar straps, cowboy boots, you know, it's everywhere. And I just always thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful art form. There's a lot of artistry to it, but there's also a lot of like technical things and, chemicals, and you can like tools. Like I love working with tools and with my hands. It kind of leatherworking kind of satisfies, it scratches every one of my itches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I started in 2009. I really learned how to do it. And I will be the first to admit that I've got a lot to learn, but I've gotten, probably progressively better over the last few years when I, threw myself into it. And, then I finally opened up Pig's Fly Shop to, do it for real.
Yeah, it seems like you just have a lot of great, I don't know, products or content. I hate that word, but you know what I'm saying? It looks like you have a lot of good, just like stuff on there that, I don't know. I really dig it. I think it's cool.
Thank you. It was definitely trial and error at the beginning. Like I haven't deleted any posts, but at the beginning of Pig's Fly Shop, I was, throwing everything against the wall to figure out what artistic services to hone in on.
Oh yeah.
It was everything for a while. So
if I had been thinking, I would have made you have some products, and then you could just like hold them up.
Oh, dang it.
Uh, People will have to Google it.
Yeah.
I see behind you, I think it's the painting for your record. Is that right?
Yeah, can you see it? Yeah, Jackie Jones painted that. It's an oil painting, and I commissioned it from her 7 years ago, and she had it like the whole time until like a year or two ago when I finally got it. I like called her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do like this thing. Do you have that painting? And she hauled that damn thing around for years. Like, and I'm so thankful that she did. I remember she was working at Hard Luck Tattoos, the original location by the Blue Note at the time. And I went in and we did like she'll only paint from her own photographs. I went in and stood like that, and she made up those clothes. I kind of told her what I wanted it to look like, and she pulled that out, and it was perfect.
It's a little blurry, but it looks like you're a waitress.
Yeah.
At a diner.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme of the title track, Near the Knuckle, which if you go to allieharter.net right now, you can listen to 2 tracks. Near the Knuckle is one of them.
Oh, cool. Very nice. So that's the cover of the album. So the album's out, what date again?
June 20th, my birthday. Woo-hoo.
Very nice. And so if people want to get it, can they just go to allieharter.com?
It's .net. I always like to say that I joke that I lost AllieHarter.com in the divorce, which so now it's .net. But
What's he gonna do with it?
no, it was just he owned like when we were married bought the website, and then when we got divorced, it was like I don't know where it is.
Sold
Now
it.
somebody owns it. I don't know.
He sold it for parts.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
But they can. Is it on CD? Is it on
Oh, it will
vinyl?
be on CD and on vinyl. You can
Cool.
pre-order right now. I opened the pre-orders yesterday. And there is like some notes on there. I do want everybody to know that they're due to COVID related crap. The manufacturing has been delayed. So I was able to speed this. The CD and the repressing of my second record will actually be here on time to mail to everybody, but the vinyl will not. Unless they can somehow speed it up. They're working on it. And I don't have any control over that. But there's notes on there that if you pre-order either, and they're delayed for some reason, on release day, you'll be given a free download code, and then I'll send it to you as soon as I get it and all that stuff. So it's kind of a wonky release, but
There's
we're
probably
gonna
no.
get it done. We're gonna get it done.
That's exciting. There's probably no events scheduled just because of the situation, but
No, and it was funded by a Kickstarter like 7 years ago, and there's rewards on there for private concerts that haven't been refilled. So I'm not doing, I don't feel comfortable doing any private concerts for anybody, or asking my friends and family to all gather in a room for a CD release show right now.
oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
I do not have any guesstimates on when either of those things will happen.
Well, the time will come when it's time. Um, oh, last question before I ask you to play a song. Uh,
Okay.
have you been to Mercury Lounge before?
Oh yeah.
Played there?
I opened for Dale Watson there when I was like 3 months pregnant with Ryland one
Oh,
time. It was pretty sweet. Yeah, I played there quite a bit.
very nice. Well, yeah, they're a great spot, and I like that they're opening back up, and they seem to be doing it the smart way as well.
Yeah.
Part of what the smart way is doing live streams, which is what this is. So I just want to say that about Mercury Lounge. So I
I love
think
those guys. Thank you guys for doing this. They're really cool people.
totally, Ali, it's been really fun to talk to you, and I look forward to hanging out in person at some point.
Yeah. Let's play a show together.
We
I feel
really
like
should.
I think I was supposed to do a poster for you at some point. Somebody got in touch for the release show or something, and I think maybe was that for you?
Well, I
Stockyard
know.
Central?
What's that?
Was it at the show at Stockyard Central? Was that you?
Well, I was booked to play there with these dudes from Tulsa called Bandolier.
Yes, I was supposed to do a poster for
I
you.
bet they reached out to you about it, but that show got moved.
Yeah.
But I've also reached out to you myself. I didn't have anything specific yet, but I really liked your posters, and that might be what you're thinking of too. Is that I put a reservation in to do a poster at some point,
Yeah.
so we'll do that too.
Yeah.
Um,
I do have special rates for Oklahoma artists. I don't charge you guys as much as I charge everybody else. So
ooh, good to know. Um, okay, well, this has been super fun. Like I said, I've always thought I need to just hang out with Ali at some point and talk. So this scratched that itch a little bit. Would you play us a tune to send us home?
yeah, totally. I
And
will
and Ali, it might sound a little better if you back up from the computer just a touch,
back up from the computer.
so you're not spraying COVID on us.
That's some
What
strong COVID if I can do it that way.
what song are you playing? Is it from your new record?
Yeah, I was trying to think of something one that I haven't played on a Rylan Faye, turn that down. Daniel Tiger. Do you need help? Can I have that? It has to be all the way down. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't even know she had her tablet in here.
Joe
I was
Bid.
trying to think about a song that I hadn't done like for one of these. I think I haven't played this one in a little while. It is one off of the new record. I got to play this last night with Carter and Kirsten and Lane Hawkins, who's an awesome, amazing fiddle player. And it was just like with all of them singing and Kirsten playing lead and him playing fiddle. It was beautiful. I had a really fun time playing the song last night, so I thought I don't know. It's still kind of in my head, so I thought I would do it.
Cool.
Here we go. It's called Griever Creek. It's basically about if I was going to kill somebody and hide the body, how I'd do it. So it's a happy song. So I left you in the desert, made out by Griever Creek, and fresh pressed socks and a brand silk breakfast, an alligator boots, a flashiest I'd ever seen. Shot queen to where your heart used to be. So pick up your ears, pipe down. Boy, can't you just shut up? The talking sick, we're talking, and I think we've had enough. The way you run your mouth is the way I've been away. And also they stand here today. The bait on my leg isn't much more than a smile. Been catching on since I was very young. I learned the difference between the good ones and the junk. Keep the meat throat like the weaker ones. So I left you in the desert, laid out by Griever Creek, and fresh pressed socks and a brand new silkback vest, and alligator boots, a flashiest I'd ever seen. Shot clean through where your heart used to be. The soft pack and the stones are a suitable place to lay. I said a few words and I let you slip away. When all is said and done, boy, you get just what you gave. A shallow heart and even shallower grave. So I left you in the desert, laid out by Griever Creek, and fresh pressed socks and a brand new silkback vest, and alligator boots, a flashiest I'd ever seen. Shot clean through where your heart used to be. Shot clean through where your heart used to be. Shot clean through where your heart used to be.
Yeah. Two hands clapping.
Thanks, man.
That was great. That's going to be a cool record. I really look forward to it.
Yeah, everybody go hop on there, pre-order it, and listen to a couple tracks from it. I'm really, really, really excited about it. Cannot freaking wait for everybody to hear it. So
Well, I know people love you and your music, and I think it'll be a big deal when people get to hear it. So looking forward to it, and I appreciate you giving me an hour ish of your time. I know you're busy, so
thank you
um,
for asking me to do it. It's awesome.
yeah, you bet. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording, and then I'll talk to you for a second afterwards. But anyway, um, thank you, Mercury Lounge. Thank you, Bobby Dean. Thank you to anybody else that watched. And oh, I'll get that phone call in a sec. Um,
Take
yeah,
that
just
now.
decline it for now. Um, yeah, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Allie. And check out Allie's stuff and pre-order the record, and we'll see you around. Bye bye.